and welcome back to Xpwaste, where I've been in a lot of player-owned houses, and not a single one has a bathroom, and I am worried. I'm Michael.
And I am Oxie. If you're new around here, welcome. We're a podcast that talks about old school Runescape almost entirely. It's kind of our thing to get on tangents. It's the whole point of Xpwaste, but mostly old school Runescape. So if you're new, welcome. If you're not new around here, once again, sup, baby. You might be excited to learn that we have a merch store that is going to be open today, right now. The minute this hits your ear holes, it's gone live. xpwaste.shop, links in the description. We'll go into more detail later because I despise promoting in the first 60 seconds of the show.
Me too.
But figured we'd get it out early. Anyways, Michael, how's your week been?
My week's been pretty good. I did want to just mention this is week 3 of the fruit being at my desk. And at this point, I think I'm just going to go and see how long it takes for me to throw it away. The lime has become almost a solid marble. I don't know why or how or what's going on, but I'm starting to worry. The lemon is still kind of soft, maybe edible. I don't think so.
No.
And the orange is doing so well. It's very soft. I probably could still eat it.
No, it's not. None of it's edible.
I'm good though. My week has been pretty swell.
Yeah.
Pretty swell. I'm excited to record so I can play some RuneScape.
I have a sneaking suspicion this is the first time you played RuneScape since the last time we recorded.
No. I actually broke out my iPad the other day on Friday while I was watching the kid and did some fishing.
Nice.
So that may be a more normal thing now that he's like semi taking care of himself, just playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's 8 months old and he's crawling and he's getting into stuff. So we have like this big play area in our living room and all of his toys are in there and stuff. So usually whenever we're watching him, just like a movie is playing, it's on in the background. I'm sitting at the couch and he's playing. So then more time to play RuneScape. And he's been taking longer naps too. So that's exciting. But I have a lot of editing to do this week. So I probably won't be playing this week.
Play and edit at the same time. What are you doing?
I can play and edit this, yes. But I'm talking like I can't go to the gauntlet. I can't like send a raid with the boys. I'm going to be fishing, sure. But
bro, imagine editing anywhere but the Inferno. That's probably why there's some slip ups in some of the episodes I edit. Because I'm like,
it takes you so long.
I mean, maybe, but only sometimes. Like I'm good at like getting back on track, but
yeah,
sometimes I'll just wait. Like I feel it feels like 400 years since I've been in the Inferno. But I'll like wait till I have a good stopping point. Like if I just have one NPC on the other side of a pillar, I'll be like, all right, sick. And I'll sit there for like 20 minutes and just like go back and fix any mistakes that I missed or anything like that.
You were actually serious about editing while doing I thought you were kidding.
No, I seriously have edited episodes while in the Inferno. One of the reasons I've started to like consciously swear less, or at least say the F word less, is because sometimes I want to do the Inferno while I edit, and I don't want to stop every 20 seconds to do that. But I'm not editing this week, so fuck, I guess. I don't know.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And the listeners appreciate you, because that's just lovely to hear.
The listeners got a kick out of it.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I am so excited. I don't know why I'm excited. Because Leagues is almost over, baby. It's almost
over
done.
For you, yeah. It is over at the time of release.
Yes, as of right now, I currently have 34,625 League points. The current cutoff for Rune Cup as of Monday night is 31,150. I'm not entirely sure if I am going to make Rune at the moment because you never know how much points could jump up by in the last 48 hours. But I'm feeling good. Good. Hopefully it's just done because great guns I don't want to do this anymore. It's just not enjoyable content at the moment. It's not. Oh my god, I'm so over leagues. I'm sorry, I'm so over it.
He says as he's in leagues currently.
I'm in leagues, number one, because I'll have to reference a lot of things throughout the episode because
okay.
that's what we're talking about this week, not to jump the gun.
You've
But
seen the title.
you have seen the title, indeed. You smart listener, you. And also, if I'm going to be here, might as well go ahead and try to get myself some more points. I'm doing elite clues.
Ooh.
No, not ooh.
Oh, sorry.
It's just they take like I'll get like 2 done throughout the course of the episode because they take so long. Like I just got an elite clue step. Fix a magical lamp in Dorgish Khan. Okay. I guess I have to go there now. I'm so over leagues. But outside of RuneScape, it's been delightful. I have started finally playing other games again, which I feel great about. I'm getting back into Jurassic World Evolution 2. Haven't jumped into Halo yet because just I don't know. I don't know. The gameplay is getting a little stale. I love it, but it's I don't know. The lack of playlist variety is kind of killing me.
I just got to jump in a match with you and just start screaming at noobs.
We've got to
the noobs.
Yeah, we've got to. We have to like
reinvigorate
actually
you.
play as BTB is back, so we can actually get the TNL boys all back in a lobby together. Finally, because it was just broken for a while.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's disappointing to say, but like the live service model either has already or is currently failing Halo so hard. It's bad. But still a great game, still fun to play. And I'm so glad to not play RuneScape. It's been delightful. I've not been this happy to not play this game in forever. But I will be playing it a lot soon. Michael, what's coming up?
Bingo, baby.
Bingo. I'm so excited. I am so excited for bingo, as always.
Me too. I'm still teetering on the idea that I might not play this year or like this spring and just be more of a behind the scenes admin type role because Lord knows that is as equally as taxing as actually playing in the bingo for the 10 days or whatever. So it's really just going to depend on how confident I feel with being able to balance life. And I'm thinking at this point in my life, it's just going to be easier to bow out because we have a ton of people signed up. And in the past, it's always been, hey, there's only like 20 people. We need you. We need you to fill out teams. But when there's 70 plus people, I could play or not, and it's not going to make a big difference.
I still think you should play.
Right. That's why I said I'm still teetering on the idea of playing or not, because like the last time that we did a bingo was in the fall, and TNL as a Xpwaste community was still kind of new. So a lot of people that played in that bingo, I didn't really know. Like Mima was on my team, and that was like the first time I had ever really interacted with Mima. Now we've known all of you guys, we've known all the people in TNL for the last, I don't know, 6-7 months since the fall.
God, when was the fall? Was that in?
It was in September.
Oh my God, that was in September. Great
guns. Yeah, because I had just finished Runecrafting, I think.
I thought it was October.
I can't remember.
I don't know. Who knows?
It was back in the fall. But that being said, we've gotten to hang out with a lot of people in TNL who've joined from Xpwaste over the last 6 months, and a lot of great relationships have formed. And now I'm like, I would love to play with you guys. But again, it's just that balance, and that's kind of very important to me. Is trying to stay sane for 10 days.
Not during bingo, baby. No sanity. Only grinding.
I could be a great alt for somebody. That would be a cool. Like, I'll just hold the corp cave for you guys or something. Not saying there's a corp tile. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm very excited. But by the way, XP wasters, if Michael leaks a tile, and I've made this threat before and I'll make it again, if a tile gets leaked, I'm making the entire board Dragon Warhammers, Curved Bones, specific Trouble Brewing uniques, and then I don't know what else sucks. 80 million mining XP.
Okay. I counter that with, if Oxie makes that the entire board, I'm gonna host a separate secret bingo, and I'm gonna put everything that you guys want on the board, and we'll see how many people join your bingo, Oxie.
Don't leak tiles. That's the thing. No, you're not going to know the board until the day of the event, which is one of my favorite parts of bingo.
Oh yeah,
is an hour before the event starts, we release the board to everyone, and then it's like a mad dash to strategize, kind of like how they do with leagues, where like they give you that hour of like an info dump, and you kind of have to like plan your first little bit. So an hour before it starts, at least in the past, it's been an hour. We've had it go back and forth for like, should it be 24 hours or should it be an hour? I'm thinking, and I prefer an hour just because I like the madness.
Yeah.
But we'll see, I suppose.
I'm sure we'll have strategic leaks of tiles like we did last year.
Yeah, that
was fun.
We had a lot of fun with the strategic leaks. I just like,
dude, your riddles that you did for the tile
those were a lot of fun.
Were...
I had a blast with those. I did have a blast like leaking the next boards.
Oh, that was what they were for.
Yeah, we were teasing the next boards because we did like a Trailblazer thing last time where we just like split up the regions. My favorite was of course the Dragon Cup board because I did the Verzik quote before they changed it from Night at the Theater. Because every time, I think it was every time before Night at the Theater came out, which I could be mistaken, but every time you'd go in to start the final challenge, she would say, well, that was quite the show. I haven't been that entertained in a long time. Of course, you know I can't let you leave here alive. It's time for your final performance. And the encounter would start.
Ooh.
God, and we said something, the teaser was something like, you guys have all put on quite the show. We mods haven't been this entertained by bingo in a long time. Of course, we can't give you a real teaser for the Dragon Cup. It's almost time for your final board or something like that.
Yeah.
And we were teasing that like the Dragon Cup board was going to have the hard content. And as a mod, we can see all the team chats. And I popped into like a couple different team chats and they're like, all right, so it's Theater of Blood. Like there's Tob on the final board. Like we know that. People were figuring it out. We did music tracks for a couple of them. We had a lot of fun. I accidentally leaked a tile. I made a comment about Zenite jewelry. That nobody seemed to pick up on in the Gen chat. But after looking through the team chats, every single team was talking about that there's a Zenite tile somewhere in there. So I'm super excited. We're still planning tiles right now. I'm excited for this bingo because we get to make it hard. For the last several years, we have made our bingos very accessible to people. And it still is. We'll get to that in a second. It still is very accessible. But in the past, it was always like one guy in our clan has an Infernal Cape barely. So we can like none of us can do Tob very well. We're all pretty shit at Chambers. Now we have like some of the boys have ascended to like Oblivion tier PVMers. So we've gotten to like up the ante on some of the board tiles to make it, you know, nice and fun and difficult for like the people who are really there for the end game content. But I did want to touch on this as far as like low level accessibility because it's been talked about a little bit in Discord. My first RuneScape bingo, they held a draft. It was draft in a voice chat. So everyone hopped in the VC and they were just like putting names in columns that were all there, like 30 something people. I think I got picked second to last of like a 30-40 person bingo. And then I went out of town for the first weekend, not realizing what bingo was. Went out of town to go stay with my girlfriend, like up north. We went camping. Yeah. And when I got back, all of the tiles that I was like really excited to do were done. The pet tile was done. The champion scroll was done. The stuff I could do in Slayer was done. The only thing left that I could do was the wilderness shards. There was a Zulrah tile, but it was a bonus tile to like get a mutagen. And I had gotten my first Zulrah KC 24 hours before the bingo started. And I like sent a screenshot to my team of like the kill Zulrah crossed out in the Western Provinces diary.
Yeah.
And they're all like, yeah, you did it. You finally killed Zulrah. I think the last 3 days my team was at Nightmare the entire time while I was trying to get this damn malediction or odium shard from the wilderness.
Mhm.
And I was like literally too useless to help out at Nightmare because I'm like, I can go, but I have like 70 strength and a Sarachnis cudgel. They're like, yeah, just stay behind. Like it's not, I didn't have any gear, I didn't have any stats. And I still had a blast. I was still able to do a lot of things on that board. They were finished very early because I was on a team with gamers, but
Mhm.
we have been thinking of ways around that. And one of the ways that we've been talking about are numbers of items in tiles. So let's say if we want to do like a goblin tile, instead of obtain a goblin mail as a drop, obtain 3, obtain
Mhm.
5.
Mhm.
So that's something that low level players could do. We're not going to put a goblin tile. That's the stupidest tile I've ever heard in my entire life. But it's an example of like the lower level stuff might have to be repeated several times. So just in case the people with the ornamented scythes and infernal capes decide, you know what I'm going to do? Beat the living shit out of some goblins. It's not finished in 5 minutes. And it still
Mhm.
has to take a little bit of time. So people who are, you know, not chambers ready, not top ready, not God Wars dungeon ready, have something to do. And by the way, if you're not ready for most pieces of content, yes, you are, baby. This is if
Bingo
you got
gets you
under
ready.
1700 total level and you end up on my team, I'm taking you everywhere but Theater of Blood.
Hell yeah.
That's both a threat and a promise. I'm very excited. So if you're in the clan, if you listen to the podcast and you're like, I don't think my account is where it should be to join a bingo, there's no threshold. There's no threshold. If you think it sounds fun, come play with us and have a blast. Bingo is unironically one of my most favorite things to do in RuneScape. I
Mhm.
am not playing RuneScape for the next couple of weeks so that when bingo comes out, I can degen no life lasagna chair the shit out of this game. And that's
Yeah.
kind of like, oh boy, I think that's what we do. A couple of us do. I don't know. Me and TMD generally take a little bit of time off and then just like go crazy when it's time to play. So if you're thinking about it, sign up. If you've already signed up, let's go, baby. It's almost bingo season.
So if you would like to join Bingo, all you have to do is join our Discord. Links are in the description for that. Or you can go to discord.gg/TNL. Very easy. And join the Discord. And then in the announcements channel, which should be near the top. Yep, it is. We'll have a pinned comment leading you to the sign up page. So like we said, there's really no requirements other than there is a 1 mil buy-in. So that can be paid, I think, up until the 28th. So the draft starts on the 28th, and then bingo will start on the 1st. So if you're listening to this at a later time, sorry, I do apologize. Bingo is likely over, but get hyped for fall bingo because we're going to have one then too. Bingo's twice a year, and I like that schedule that we have going.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
we could do a spring, summer, and fall, but that's a lot.
It's
That's like,
so much. And like they're fun. Bingos are so much fun. Logistically, I don't think people understand how exhausting they are to play in. Back to back to back.
oh, to play in, yes. I was
I
gonna say
mean, to organize is
to organize.
it's a shit show no matter what. It's a shit show that's worth doing and I really enjoy, but a shit show nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
But no, to like plan a bingo and to commit 7 to 10 days to like just playing RuneScape and only doing like 1 or 2 really obscure PVM things, that's really hard. That's really hard
Mm-hmm.
to like grind out, you know, goblins for 45 million goblin males. I think it's difficult, but
We have our bingo starting on the 1st. And I think somebody said that if you listen to the Wilderness podcast, their bingo ends around that time. And I think
mhm.
we've had people say like they plan to do both. So
Mhm.
that's one of those situations where it's like, ooh, back-to-back bingos. Good luck.
We
The only thing you need to
also
worry about is the code words. So make sure you get that organized before you start or end one, because it can
Mhm.
get kind of confusing.
We also had people ask if that was planned. It 1,000% was not planned that way. We just talked in the chat and we're like, so does April 1st to April 10th or April 11th, whenever the date is, like, does that work for everyone? And we're like, yeah, sure. And then we got wind that they were doing theirs at the same time. We're like, all right, cool, awesome, back to back. But
So what did we come here to talk about today, Oxie?
we came here to talk about the Shattered Relics League. It is time. Shattered
I've never
Relics League, by the time you're listening to this, ended yesterday. And yeah, it's time to get into it. It's time to just get into the league's gripes. So I kind of want to structure this episode. Michael, number one, jump in literally at any time. I've got a little doc here. This is the first time I've made a doc for something that I specifically want to talk about in a
Okay.
hot minute for XP waste. So
Sweet.
the passion is there.
I'll just be your sounding board, okay? Because I don't have a lot of thoughts about leagues other than didn't play, don't regret it. So I'll just be your sounding board.
Well, for all of you Oxy haters out there, this is not going to be a fun episode for you then, because I'm going to be talking a lot. For all of you Oxy enjoyers, though, sup?
Hey.
Uh, I hate myself. um, yeah, it leagues has come to a close. By the time this episode comes out, leagues will have ended roughly 24, 48 hours ago. Generally, it shuts down at about like it'll probably be like 7 or 8 a.m. whenever game update goes live. 7 or 8 a.m. I think on Wednesday. So yeah, whenever
Yeah.
game update happens, it'll be done. I remember last year for Trailblazer, they shut the servers off at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I stayed up all night, and I like ran into one of my old buddies, Greg, because
Yeah.
they did like a big line at the end, which was really cool. It was like show off all the stuff that you've earned, and like there were J mods there transforming into like Nightmare and Jad
Oh,
and shit, and
cool.
we made a train from the Grand Exchange over to Lumbridge Castle, and we like made a line over there, and everyone lined up next to each other with their pets and their items, and just had like one
Wow.
final send off. And then slowly everyone just disconnected like one at a time, and then it was done. Trailblazer was over.
Wow.
It was so much fun. I think I tweeted about it. I said like there at the close or something, because that league felt very special.
Hmm.
And I don't think I'm gonna be up till 5 o'clock in the morning for this league. For no small reason that I have work the next day and I have to
Hmm.
be therapeutic, and I can't stay up and get 2 hours of sleep and then expect to like do what I do effectively.
Hmm.
Um, so not gonna do that. Um, but also this league didn't capture me the same way Trailblazer did, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it may just come as a result of my experience as a player. I kind of want to structure this as like a sandwich, like a good, bad, good.
Oh, a
That's a
feedback
therapy.
sandwich.
It's
Okay.
a therapy technique right there. But think of it less as like a sandwich of equal parts and more of like a bun, a good thick ass 2 pound patty, and then a bottom bun, which is underselling the fun that I had in this league, but which I guess we can get right into it. The fragment system was cool. The fragment system, unlocking new fragments, was a lot of fun. That first like couple of hours, couple of days, when people were just going around doing random skills, like, and you get an unidentified fragment, and everyone's in VC freaking out. Like, I think I was the first one of everyone to get the clue hunter or clued in fragment.
Hmm.
It was a fragment that like you got, I think at tier 3, you had a 1 in 15 chance to receive a clue scroll from an enemy that dropped a clue scroll, which was
Oh.
super cool to do. Like, and because clues were stackable, you could do shit like cannon guards and Falador and get hella medium clues. You
Yeah.
could kill hellhounds and get hella hard clues. So those first moments of getting the relics was super exciting. And like being the first one to level up a fragment, you know, there's always something special at the start of a league of like getting specifically your third relic slot, you know? Because in this league they gave you the first two fragment slots. Not I'm gonna
Mm,
interchange them between fragments and relics. It's just gonna happen. I'm talking about the same thing. Um
okay.
there's when you get that second or third fragment, they gave you the third or the second one for free this time, but in Trailblazer you had to get it yourself. But the second and third unlock slots are just so much fun because it's the early game and it's not a whole lot of points in hindsight. Like once you get to the end game, you can earn like 2,000 points a day if you have good RNG. Like it's
Mhm.
easy. But in the really early game, earning like 1,500 points takes forever because all the stuff that you can do at the low levels is like 5 points a task or
Yeah.
25 points a task, and like you don't get a whole lot of reward for it. So you really have to push to get there. And I felt that same excitement with this league at the beginning, and I think the fragments really helped that out. I think giving people new things to unlock, it was a lot of fun, which leads me to another positive point. Unlocking skills was fun as hell. Being able to strategize and like, oh, I can't like I'm gonna wait to do this activity until I have like hit points unlocked, but I'm gonna go do Temporos. Before I do Temporos, I'm gonna unlock construction for the free XP, but I also have to unlock cooking because I don't want to neglect anything. There was a
Right.
lot that like went into it, and like planning how to get to different bosses. And I thought it was a lot of fun. I made it my goal to unlock all the skills before the big Renown stimmy hit a week in. And I think I got everything but herb lore. And that's because it was like 3:30 in the morning. No, oh my god, no, it was later than that. It was like 4 a.m. because the Lord Jake woke up and he wakes up at like 4:30 for work and he hopped
Ooh.
back into VC and I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed. I was a couple renowned short of herb lore, and I'm like, nah, when he gets back in voice chat, I gotta go to sleep because I've messed up
Yeah.
big time. Um, but I almost got everything before the stimmy hit. That was a lot of fun. Learning what the fragments do was a lot of fun, and getting enough fragments to unlock set effects for the first time, like the minute it popped up in your chat box and said you've unlocked the Trailblazer relic set
Yeah.
where you got the amulet and now you could teleport everywhere and you finally opened up the map for yourself because Walkman mode sucks even if you have unlimited run because you don't have any law runes. I The early game of leagues was a lot of fun, and the fragment system and the renown system, like unlocking things with that, it was very new and very different, and it allowed for, I don't know, just a lot of fun at the early stages in the game.
I
Uh
did make it to the Trailblazer one, and you're right. Like being able to just instantly teleport to any of the waystones or the any of the lodestones without having to get there, like without having to run there, it did change a lot.
mhm.
Like, it changed up the metas for certain early game things at least. But then I don't know. I never unlocked my fourth slot, and I felt kind of like you know backed into a corner of, well, I want to do this, but I also would love to have Trailblazer going. So, changing out the fragments to suit that was kind of hard. And it's like, well, now I'm gonna go do this, and maybe I'll put Trailblazer on for 2 minutes and then take it off. But then it's like, ugh, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I've covered the top bun for now because I'm going to save more positive stuff for later. It's time to get into the big juicy meat patty of the constructive critique of Shattered Relic League. And Michael's transitioned us beautifully. Giving the accessibility of every relic and every fragment to everyone is cool. It's very cool to not feel like you missed out on anything. But the trade-off of having to switch it out all the time sucked. I'm not
Hmm.
even going to talk about the interface as a whole because awful. Just mm. let me get into what I specifically don't like about it. So we're talking about the fragments interface specifically. The
Hmm.
unlock interface, very well designed. The skills, the bosses, the quests. Um, if you clicked on quests and then clicked info, it showed you all the quests you unlocked and it showed you what content you accessed. Like the unlock tab, delightful. The info tab, I genuinely don't think anybody bothered to read that at all, but I imagine it has some smart, good information in it. The tasks tab, completely useless.
Hmm.
They made a plugin called WikiSync that you would just go to the Shattered Relics task list. I don't know if they did that on purpose, the people at the wiki and Runelight, because they knew how shitty this interface was going to be. If you've ever looked at a menu the size of a beer can on your screen with 1260 options on it, it was not well designed, the task one, because they have a skill section, right? But the skill section doesn't have all of the skills like the wiki does, where you can divide them up. It has combat, gathering, artisan, support, and unlocked, which is just not helpful.
Yeah.
The areas they carried over from Trailblazer, which cool, also not super helpful because we're not focusing on area specific stuff. Nobody's staying within the confines of an area because now we don't have to. Type of task was fine, tier was fine, incomplete, complete, whatever, that's fine. The task menu is horrendously overwhelming with no filters on. There is just so much. I can't even focus on what I have to do, and I only have 258 tasks left.
Wow.
That's just how overwhelmed I feel. Day one of the biggest things I heard from people was, I can't get my head straight with this, and I don't know where to start with leagues because it was so much.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was so much. It was a lot. Task menu didn't do any favors. The fragment menu. The fragment menu was tough. So the fragment menu on release, you couldn't save what filter you were using last. You could filter by set effect, which is helpful, but when you click on a filter in the vanilla version, and I will expand on that here in a minute, when you click on a filter in or you click on a relic in the vanilla version, it doesn't show you immediately what it does. So we'll click on Tactical Duelist, for example, and it will tell you what the relic does. Cool. It'll tell you that melee weapon charges have an 80% chance to be saved. You scroll down for set effects, and it will show you all that. Awesome. There's no on screen indication of how much XP your relics have. You see what set effects are active and what relics you have equipped, or what fragments you have equipped. There was not a left click equip option. You had to either click and drag or right click equip and unequip. It wasn't until 2 weeks in that they added an unequip all option, or maybe even later than that. So before, you just had to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, drag them all off, and then drag the
Oh
other ones back
gosh.
on. And then you had to go into filters and make sure everything worked. Category, again, they have combat, harvesting, production, and other, which a little strange sometimes, but we'll get into specific fragments in a minute. I don't like this menu at all. They have this really cool thing where they didn't allow us to do presets because they wanted us to spend more time getting to know the relics or something. I don't know what Oasis's logic was for not putting presets in. What
Yeah.
the fuck? I am titties deep in endgame PVM. And I don't want to have to sit there and remember. I have a Google Doc. It's called Fragment Combos because I had to use an off platform thing to document what fragments had what set effects and they were affected at what boss. Why is a 3-page Google Doc my go to for this? Why don't we have built in presets?
Yeah.
Why is there no better indication of what the set effects are from the fragments immediately? There are 2 plugins that I downloaded. One of them does give presets, which is very nice. 3 plugins actually. One of them shows the XP of the fragments on the bottom. One of them allows you to make custom presets. And one
Hmm.
of them changes all the icons because they had this other great idea where they thought Arcane Conduit, Thrall Damage, Zamorakian Sight, and Enchanted Jeweler should all have a basically the same design, just in a different orientation. That's not confusing at all. Same with like Chef's Catch, Hot on the Trail, Homewrecker, Venom Master, things like that. Let's just make them dots or let's make them swirls. Let's not let's make it the same symbol, but change it just enough so it's technically not the same thing.
Yeah.
Why? This changes the logos completely with in-game items. Some of them are prayers, some of them are items, some of them are like right now I have a medium clue box, a oak plank, a chef's hat, a Zamorakian robe, a what's the Zaya book, the purple one, Book of the Dead, air rune, and then dragon arrows. That signifies a bunch of different things, which right now on my fragment menu on screen, 3 of them have the exact same icon. And it's just,
That's very confusing.
it's very confusing. The menu and the interfaces they did not get right, which is very disappointing, not because they had all the time in the world to fix it, because look at the combat achievements interface. That's actually really nice. It's very
Yeah.
well divided. It's very easy to read. We can click on anything. Let's click on General Gardor in the combat achievements thing. You see the boss, you get its collection log, its world location. There's a direct link to the wiki. That's awesome. There's a difficulty. You can go back to the boss list, or you can look at the specific combat tasks for that boss.
Mm.
They put that much quality work into the combat achievements interface menu that came out like 4 months prior to Shattered Relics, or when Shattered Relics was supposed to come out. I don't know what went wrong, but yikes. I was not a fan of the menu. Which leads to another point of this big beefy critique section. Switching fragments is not as fun as you think it is. I'm sorry, Jagex. It is not as enjoyable as you guys thought it up to be. It sounds really cool, and at first it is really cool, but it gets super tedious. And without those menu features, like I talked about, it's not fun to have to go to a bank to switch them out all the
Right.
time. It's not
Yeah.
fun. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's not fun. Some of the fragments and what they do not make sense. There's 2 in particular that I'm going to call out as why. Why did you think this was a good idea for balancing or what have you?
Mhm.
Bottomless Quiver and Arcane Conduit. Now, there are 2 set effects in this game, in Shattered Relics, that make range and mage more powerful. You have Chain Magic, which allows you to hit 2 hit splats at once, and Double Tap, which allows you to hit 2 damage splats at once with range. Bottomless Quiver, which saves up to like 95% of your arrows, and Arcane Conduit, which saves 90% of runes and weapon charges, trident, sang staff, law runes, all that,
Mhm.
are not included in either one of the combat things.
Hmm.
In Trailblazer League, the double tap and chain magic set, or the relics, right, that competed with tactical duelists, that gave you the 2-tick attack. Some of the biggest draws to those were the ammo preservation and the rune preservation. Why, when I'm on a magic task or when I'm on a range task, should I have to equip something so off kilt for what I'm going for? Now, granted, they put Knife's Edge on Bottomless Quiver, which was cool. Like I said, there were some cool set effects. We'll talk about the good stuff a little bit later, and this on a high note here. But those are the 2 things that just make sense. Like, why would they not be on there? You know, there's a lot of strange choices as to why they put certain set effects on certain relics. And I don't know if it truly was just random
Mhm.
or if they thought to themselves, this is going to diversify the play style for people. I don't like it. Why is the smithing double fragment a fragment that gives you a 30% chance to give you 2 of the product? Where's that most helpful, Michael? When creating God Sword blades.
Oh.
So helpful to get 2 God Sword blades instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that not in the craftsman set effect that auto processes everything in your inventory?
Hmm.
Why could you not get a
Balancing?
chance
I don't
to
know. That's all I can think of. It's like random balancing. You know what I mean?
unnecessary balancing? And
Yeah.
that's what makes me salty and makes me upset is because nothing about leagues is supposed to be balanced. And this could be an unpopular opinion for someone who's never ran a league before. I've never tried to code a league. I've never tried to change game mechanics. I get that. I understand that. I can understand from an organizer's perspective that sometimes you just have to do shit because that's how it's going to work. We do it with bingo all the time. You don't like it? Sorry. That's just what it is. Rules, mechanics, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But in a game mode that historically has just been broken, why is balancing suddenly a factor?
Right.
Is it going to make the difference in the Dragon Cup tier if someone can smith twice as many rune bars all at one time? Now, I know someone's going to go ahead and say, well, you had 7 fragment slots. Why don't you just equip the craftsman and smithing double? It's a valid point. That's the counter argument for that. And quite frankly, I don't really have one, except when you're at a lower level.
Yeah.
When you only have 3 fragments, what are you going to do? Just do nothing?
Suffer.
Why did some of the set effects have fragments that had nothing to do with them? The alchemist fragment. So nice. That set effect was so nice. It allowed you to auto process food and potions and grimy herbs and like everything. It was really cool. It was really cool. Why is Slay All Day in there? Why is a
Hmm.
Slayer fragment in with Mixologist? Is there any reason why I would be on a Slayer task and need like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make all these attack potions at once because I got hella eyes and newt and guam leaves from these things. You know I got them motherfucking vials on me to make that. What? Why is Golden Brick Road on there, which I will give the agility and runecrafting and prayer ones a pass. I'll give them a pass because what could you possibly do? I was talking the other day that like maybe you could have had like a support skill one where you you know when the set effect was active you had like a 50% chance to see a Slayer superior or something stupid like that. That's like ridiculously high.
Hmm.
You never failed an agility obstacle. You never failed a pickpocket. You never failed catching a monster for hunter.
Hmm.
You know, you never bent a nail. Shit like that. Support skills, right? I don't know how you could have done that, so I'm not super hung up on that one. Like I said, some fragments get a pass just because some of them don't make a whole lot of sense. Some skills don't really have set effects that go well with them. Prayer training was one of them. There's no real set effect that helps prayer training out a whole lot, which was a little strange. Some of
Right. Like,
and
where are the fragments that allow you to just offer all your bones at once? You know, is there one that I don't think there is one for
no,
that?
which the potential for that is good, but I don't know how it would work with the chaos altar. That's the only thing, unless you like processed them all and then it like didn't take some out of your inventory.
Well, no, it just either 50% all or 50% not.
That would
Like,
be
take them all 50% of
okay.
the time,
That would be disgusting. That would be super
wouldn't it?
fun. That'd be kind of gross. I'd love that.
Yeah.
For that one, I thought of like, why didn't they make like a mini game style one where you got double experience for sacrificing bones to the chaos altar or something like that?
Mm.
You know, something that put a little bit of that pointless risk in because we're Iron Men. Nobody's gonna get anything from PKing you.
Hmm.
You know, I have a lot of questions about individual fragments that have kind of put me for a loop. Let's talk rune crafting for a minute. What made them want to make runecrafting more profitable in an Iron Man only game mode and not faster. We
Define
have
profitable.
Rudy Tooty, double Rooney. Each time a rune is crafted, there is an 80% chance to get double runes. And then we have Rune Escape, which at tier 3, when you craft runes at the ZMI altar, you no longer get mind, body, or elemental runes.
Oh.
Cracked for main accounts.
Yeah.
80% chance to get double blood runes, and if I'm at ZMI, I no longer get any dog shit runes. I can just keep the ones in my inventory for NPC contact and access in the bank, and that's it. If I'm getting souls, laws, natures, cosmics, blood, death, oh, that's good. Why at an Iron Man?
I don't know, because I think they maybe didn't want it to be Shopscape, where you had to go and buy all your runes and depend on money. Maybe they wanted runecrafting to be a viable skill. But I understand what you're talking about. Like, you should just make the XP better and not the runes. But I hear your counterpoint before you say it.
No.
There's a relic that saves runes, so then what's the point?
Like, that was not my point. I'm actually glad you brought that up, because that wasn't the point that I was going to make anyway. My point was going to be, and this is not to argue with you, it's to argue with that logic of, they don't want it to be Shopscape. The game is Shopscape.
Yeah,
Guardians of the Rift.
Shopscape.
Guardians of the Rift is going to help that, but that's not out yet. It has always been Shopscape. Ask any Iron Man out there. There is always a time every couple of months, every couple of weeks, you got to fork over the ducats to that dude in the Magic Guild, and you have got to buy the hell out of some runes.
Yeah.
I'm
What's
talking
the point?
like tens
They didn't
of millions
want
of
that.
GP.
They probably didn't want that. They're like, okay, how can we make it to where the problem with the Twisted League was like there was no rune crafting. So you had to go to the magic shop in Arceus and hope that, you know, your runes were in stock. So then they had to make it to where once you close the shop, it automatically restores. Well, that's kind of like, you shouldn't have to have that as a fix, because rune crafting is a skill in the game. I don't know. I kind of see where there were like where the mindset was with it, but again, I think you're right. In a temporary game mode where one of the relics or one of the fragments they gave you saves runes, let's prioritize your XP rather than your profitability.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have liked that too. Did you get double XP for the double rune?
No.
Or is it oh, well then
It doesn't say
what?
you do.
That's
View.
dumb.
Each time a rune is crafted, there's an 80% chance to get double runes. The reason I say it doesn't is because if we look at something like smithing double, it says smithing at an anvil has a 30% chance of giving you 2 end products with 100% XP. There are other fragments, rumple bowstring. No, not rumple bowstring. Proflectional. I like that one because you could say it like the Halo announcer. Proflectional, and it actually works. XP from fletching and stringing bows increased by 100%. That's literally a double XP relic. Some of the fragments are good, right? The Chinchonkers fragment was really cool. Certified Farmer and CD Business. Oh, those were a dream come true. Mixologist. Ooh, that was a really good fragment. It allowed you to make all potions 4-dose. And I think, let me see, Mixologist. All potions were 4-dose, and you always save secondaries. I have like 14 red spider's eggs in my bank. I've made 800 restores. Like, nice. Oh, that's good. That is a good fragment. I'm gonna put a little bit of breadcrumbs in this big beefy critique patty here, because some of the fragments were really good. Some of them were just stupid.
Yeah.
Or didn't need to serve a purpose other than to get specific Shattered Relics tasks done. Grave Robber. I was talking to TMD about this one. You get more hollowed marks. That's cool. You want to know what activity I'm literally never going to do in leagues? Hollowed Sepulcher. You want to know why? Because I get 16 times XP. And it's perfectly fine for me to go to rooftops for so long because it's more bearable. Yeah. It's only, 6 hours from, if I get the hard Kandarin diary done, 6 hours from 60 to 90, whatever. That's not too bad. It's still agility, so it's not a whole lot of fun. But it's not like a huge time commitment like it is normally, right?
And there was other things that And I talked to a lot of people who are doing leagues, and they're like, "Yeah, no, screw graceful." But like, there was a lot of things that maybe graceful was useful for. I mean, not the run aspect, but I was in a VC with a friend of the clan, Blades Tired, and he was doing master clues, and one came up where it was like a Sherlock step, and it was like do a Lapa Relica with full graceful equipped. And he's like, "Oh man," I'm like, "Did you not get full? You're maxed. Like, did you not get graceful?" He's like, "Ah, screw graceful." I'm like, okay, I mean, I probably would have done it. Just you had 8, 9 weeks, or what is it, 10 weeks in this league? It's plenty of time to get it, but just people just didn't do it.
See, that's the thing about, to finish my point on the grave robber run, the only reason why I would do Sepulcher is because there's a league task for it. So to create fragments around league tasks, or to create a select few fragments around league tasks, don't love it. I kind of like to be a
Yeah,
little bit more general, but
I
okay,
see your
what
point.
what what can you do, right? Let's talk about stuff like the graceful outfit. How long does graceful take to get main game roughly?
You need
20,
260 marks, and takes about a mark every 10 minutes.
a lot of hours.
Yes.
A lot of hours to get full graceful, right? But that is a grind that is so necessary to every type of account. Maybe not UIM, but I don't play UIM. Everybody getting their graceful because it's so good. Because it helps you save run energy, it helps you reduce weight, it helps you gain run energy back faster, but becomes absolutely useless when you have permanent run energy.
Mm-hmm.
This highlights the problem with Graceful Scape in that I've not seen a single person in full Graceful, not even for Fashion Scape. People just aren't wearing Graceful in leagues
I
because
don't
you can
blame
wear
them.
whatever the hell you want,
It's
right?
not good fashion.
Exactly. Which is a broader point of leagues that I get. We can kind of transition into some of the tasks now instead of me just complaining about the fragments. We can move on to the tasks that I wasn't a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
And the tasks I was a fan of. Uh Grinds that are difficult in the main game don't translate to being worth it in a limited time game mode when you already don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need graceful. Some things like a dragon defender you need. Other things like Barrow's gloves, maybe not. Because maybe you got Bando's fan braces and you use that for Bandosian Might, which gives you way more max hits than the Barrow's gloves would.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's things like that that are just not as enjoyable when you are forced to do them. You know, people always tell me like, "Oh, get Grim Crawler's can. It's super helpful." I'm like, "Who gives a shit?" Like, I don't water my crops. I put ultra compost on them and leave them because my crops just I don't know. Like it's get the full farmer's outfit, get the full prospector outfit. Why? Because there's a league task for it? I don't know. And let's transition to tasks here. This league, they pretty much copy and pasted a lot of what they did from both Twisted and Trailblazer and brought it right over to Shattered Relics. And they said that's going to be good. Couple issues with that. Number one, I'm going to get the most nitpicky one out of the way first. It comes off as lazy. Some of them are
Yeah.
going to be repeated, surely, you know, chop a tree with a rune axe, get 99 fire making, you know, of course, things like that are going to be repeated from league to league. But it does seem a little bit lazy to be like, all right, you just did this in Trailblazer, do it again. Or you just did this in Twisted League, do it again. And, you know, before they updated everything, they really did just copy and paste them. Pickpocket 1,000 artifacts?
Oof. No
Like,
good. No good.
what? What kind of a task is that? Complete 1,000 farming contracts or 500 farming contracts, whatever it was. That's ridiculous. I understand they changed them, and it was a good choice for them to change. But I think the way they developed some of these tasks, a little bit more thought could have been put into it. They did such a good job with Trailblazer, but they lost that momentum for task development when they were just like, yeah, sure. We'll just put everything from there. And we did a good job. Done and dusted, boys. We don't need to do it anymore. And I don't know if that was necessarily the process, but putting tasks in that don't lead to anything fun or they don't amount to enjoyable gameplay don't make for good tasks.
Mm-hmm.
This is my hot take, right? Subdue the winter Todd 350 times. Probably don't give a shit about that. Where's fishing for Temporos? Kill Temporos 350 times. Probably don't need to do that. You know, a monster like Zulrah, Hydra, Vorkath, not Vorkath so much, but monsters of that caliber, kill count challenges are one thing because at least there can be motivation behind that. Like, bro, I can't believe I had to kill 400 Hydra to get my Hydra Claw. I had to kill 443 Kriar to get my Armadillo chestplate. I have had 13 drops from Kree or something like that, and only one of them was the chestplate. When I finished that Slayer task, I was at 450, and I had just gotten my chestplate like 7 kills prior, and I was like, dude, I can get 50 God Wars Dungeon KC, sure, because there was motivation for me to do it in the first place. I got 99 fire making, and I think 26 games of Winter Todd from 50 to 99.
Insane.
So why in the world do I want to do it another 325 times? I know it was probably a carryover from Twisted League. Same thing with Temporos. Same thing with Zalcano. Why do you want to do that?
Right. Because you're going to get like the highest XP task that they put in this league is 25 mil. So even at like maybe 60 KC, you're at 25 mil fire making. So who goes past? I mean, there's no reward for going past 25 mil, which I was kind of on the fence about. Like, it's good, but it's also like, why? It's a long league, and there's XP multipliers like 76 or 80 million cooking XP per hour. Why not? You know, it's not going to take that long. But I understand maybe they don't want to reward that type of gameplay, like the real sweaty. Like, I think, and this is maybe a hot take, but I think that's why they're hesitant about putting any sort of 200 mil cape in the main game, is because that's just not. That's just
You're saying
very,
it wouldn't be healthy.
could be very unhealthy. Yeah,
Yeah,
could be very
Which-
unhealthy.
that's fair. That's fair. I don't think, there's only a select few people who would have the elite 200 mil K, but it might lead to unhealthy behaviors. You know what? That's fair.
Yeah.
When putting tasks like that on there, the only reason to push for 350s for the pet. Some of these kill count challenges are off the chain. Defeat each Dagonoth King 1,000 times. The drop rate for the rings was 1 in 42. Why am I gonna do that?
You're not.
Like, I don't know. I understand where some of these tasks came from because it's all you had to do in the other league.
Oh yeah. No, that was going to be my point. It's like in a Zaya locked league, 350 Winterton is not that bad. 500 farming contracts, not that bad. It's still boring. It's like, who wants to steal 1,000 artifacts? Not me.
Nobody.
It's boring. So, I don't know.
Michael, we definitely didn't just have any technical issues there, did we? That skip was on purpose, yeah?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah. No. XP-based technical problems? What? What?
Yeah.
Never.
I'm pretty sure there was a BRB screen for some reason, but
Oh, yeah, no. Sometimes we just like to spice it up a little and put the Be Right Back screen in the middle of the episodes because nothing bad ever happens while recording.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyways, Michael, you did a great job of transitioning us to another point that I wanted to talk about because if you can't tell, I'm kind of passionate about this and I'm kind of pissed off about some things. I'm really happy with some things too, and I will keep sparsing those in there. But we got a lot to talk about. This is one I kind of talked about with some of the boys as well in VC the other day because I did spend a little time like gauging their opinions. I'm like, hey, what was your experience with Shadow Relics League? Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. How'd that go? We kind of had a discussion about it for a little while. I just got done saying before nothing wrong happened, that part of the reason why some of the tasks are the way they are is because that's all you had to do in that area. Kill 750 demonic gorillas is par for the course when you can only go to Kandarin. Kill the Winter Tot 1,000 times, par for the course when you're locked into Zaya. When you have the entire world at your disposal, who the fuck wants to do that?
Yeah.
Which leads to my next point of no restrictions is a detriment to the league. This is one of the things that we talked about, that the restrictions were fun because you were able to do everything that you were locked into pretty quickly. Or you at least had a clear path in mind of what you could do when you were, I guess, when you were in that situation, right? When you're locked to just Mistalin, you have a game plan. You know what you're going to do. When you're locked to Zaya, Kandarin, Tiranwin, Mauritania, some combination of those regions, you have a plan, you have a path, you have the best thing that you can work with. I'll never forget the regen bracelets and the obsidian helmets from Trailblazer League, because those were the best items we could equip, because we couldn't get Barrow's gloves and we couldn't get Nita's Not face guards or Serp Vissies.
Yeah.
So the obsidian helmet was our best in slot. So like that's just what we had to do, and that was cool, right? That was fun. The restrictions add fun because you look ridiculous, you feel ridiculous, but you're also a god. The lack of restrictions, notably in the late to end game, didn't make it feel like a special league. It made it feel like fast Iron Man mode with some snazzy perks that were too much of a pain in the ass to have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
Because tell me objectively, Michael, on the surface, or better yet, anyone in the recording booth chat who's hanging out with us right now, you can do that for signing up for Patreon. See, Michael, I can plug in the middle of an episode. What was different once everything was unlocked? All quests, all bosses, all skills. What was different about Shattered Relics League than normal Iron Man progression? Don't say fragments or XP.
Nothing.
Yay,
I got the right answer.
And I don't play Iron Man, and obviously this is a league. Of course there are differences, but when, and this, I'll talk about this as both a good and a bad thing. Shattered Relics was a lot of fun in the front end. This was a front-loaded league. New fragments, new set effects, unlocking new skills, killing new bosses. Maybe you're early to a boss. Maybe you're late to a boss. I was early to Temporos because everyone went the boring-ass Winter Tot route. I was getting solo temp games, cracking out combat achievements, having a blast. I didn't have all my skills unlocked. I didn't give a fuck. I was having fun. But now everything's unlocked and there are no restrictions, and you'll want to know what I'm doing? Looking at my phone waiting for leagues to be over, because I'm not restricted to anything anymore. If anything, I'm hindered by these goddamn fragment sets, but which is such a spoiled bitch way to say it. Jagex, I'm sorry. You guys put great work into leagues. I know I'm flaming the work a lot today, so I appreciate the work, but oh my god, the lack of restrictions in region, in accessibility, in skills. Imagine if you could only unlock, 17 of the 23 skills. Imagine if you could only unlock 5 of the regions, or you only had a certain amount of time in each region. If you only had 72 hours to go to certain regions and it rotated throughout. So let's say you're in Tiranman for 72 hours and you spend that 72 hours at Zulrah and you don't get a blowpipe, you have to wait another couple of days to go back to Tiranwin to get your blowpipe, or to get your Bofa, or to get your Zalcano shard, or what have you.
Yeah.
right? Give you some time, give you some variety, something to make it a little bit more strained, a little bit more fun. Like I got a time crunch, I have a region crunch, I have something that's putting pressure on me to do things more efficiently and more effectively and more fun. I know we preach that we're not a very efficient group because we aren't. Michael and I are not the most efficient players in the world. We're okay with that. But there's something about only being able to work under very specific conditions that is fun.
Mm-hmm. I
And
mean, that's what kind of like is and was the allure of a league back in the day. With the last two was like the locked content
mhm,
aspect. So locked to Zaya or locked to regions, and the strategy that was behind that, with being fully unlocked map, it kind of took away like the strategy behind. Okay, I can't get a blowpipe. What content can I do, and what else can I use?
right?
You just mentioned it, like the obsidian helm. That's gonna be that's like a core memory with this game. Like you don't look at the obsidian helmet and think, ah, what a stupid helmet. You think, man, I had fun in Trailblazer.
I've got one in my bank as a memorial to Trailblazer. It's in my
See?
Fashionscape tab. I am at this point I am almost as end game as you get when it comes to PVM. I'm literally never wearing an obsidian helmet ever. I'm also never getting rid of that obsidian helmet because I
Right.
bought it at the end of Trailblazer League as like an homage to the event. Right?
And nobody is making you do that, you know? It
The stipulation with the last league was, and I think I know where you're trying to go with this, right? So let me help you out here. The last couple of leagues were you're a god, but there's a catch,
Mhm.
right? You can only go to certain areas. You can't get all the best stuff in the game. So you have to pick and choose what's more valuable to you. Do you want content? Do you want items? Do you want skilling? What do you want, right? There's a restriction. You're only locked to one area, like Zaya, for example. So you can become a god, but you got to make it work.
Mhm.
But the trade off of having to make it work, you really were a fing god in the last two leagues. A 3-tick scythe, a 3-tick twisted bow, a 1-tick blowpipe, 2-tick sang staff. Ridiculous in Trailblazer
Meow.
League. Being able to save 95% of secondaries, being able to use the what was it was like the equilibrium fragment that just gave you hella XP relevant to your total level. That made maxing so much quicker and so
Mhm.
much cooler. And oh my good god, the king himself, last recall. You were a god, but
Yeah.
you had horrible constraints. You were the most feared meleeer in the West, but your best in slot range weapon at TOB was an MSB, not MSBI, because you didn't unlock Wilderness. MSB with like adamant arrows from Krill. That was your good luck. Have fun at Zarpus for the first time ever. Like, that was the constraint, and something about that was fun, you know? Not having ancients, not having lunars, that was fun. And part of that was lost with this. And I think they lost that mindset with Shattered Relics because they heard the outcry from players and thought the mistake they made was we didn't make everyone a god. And in doing that, they just gave everybody everything. And I
Mhm.
think that for me took too much away from the league to bounce back to.
Here's a theory. Here's a theory for you. So
Yeah, hit me.
we have always said, like, how are you going to top this league next time? How is it going to be better? How is
Mhm.
it going to be different? What are you going to do? They had to break the cycle, I think. They had to break the cycle of the region locked and just put it all out there so that the next time they did a league, it wouldn't, like, people would be like, ah, we're back. Versus each time it being the same, you're like, ugh, what are we doing? It's the same league every time. So, like, next year, when there's a league, potentially in the fall, we don't know. Next time there's a league and it's like Mauritania only, it's not as jarring to be region locked again. because
Mhm.
we experienced what a league was like with everything. And so it may just end up being a back and forth. Like 1 year is region locked, 1 year we have everything, and it just goes back and forth. Unless they just stop doing leagues altogether, which I don't know. I don't see them doing that. It's very, very popular, but it could be like a dead man mode thing where they just take a long break and try and figure it out. It might not come back at some point, but I know I think like they need to mix it up. And this was a good way to do that. Because even you yourself, you're like, man, if it hits different. Well, it hits different because they want you to feel something next time.
Maybe. It's not even a bad shout. I I get it. I don't love it, but I get it.
Yeah.
And you brought up Deadman mode, and I was going to talk about something else. I was going to talk about Sage's Renown next, but I think we're going to talk about something different instead.
I have thoughts on Sage's Renown, so we can
Oh,
save that for
perfect. I would love to talk with you about Sage's Renown because I feel like I've been rambling for like 7 hours about this, and whoever is listening to this, you're a soldier for hearing my voice for so long and not going crazy. Um, I was talking with the boys about this, and one of the overwhelming statements from everybody, we talked to people who had 4 fragments unlocked. We talked to people who had 40,000 points. One of the overwhelming statements was the extension was brutal. As such a front loaded league, as such a league that was like the first 2 weeks, bang on, good time. I'm thinking about it at work. I'm sneaking in little XP gains between clients. Like, I am here for Shattered Relics. Extending it by 2 weeks because the players were having so much fun. Oh my god, I am dying. I want this league to be over. And it's over by the time this episode comes out. But like at this
yeah.
point, I'm not even doing elite clues. I'm just bank standing. I have no motivation to keep doing elite clues. And that sucks. You guys know how much that sucks? To be
Yeah. Well,
so over something that you're so passionate about. I wouldn't be sitting here bitching about leagues if I didn't enjoy them.
yeah.
I am a leagues enjoyer. I have been, I always will be. I want my trophies, I want my cosmetics. That's fun for me. But to be in a situation where I'm unironically saying, I wish this didn't exist anymore, holy shit. That is the extension was it was too much. The extension
Uh,
was way too much.
I'll play devil's advocate for a second on the extension because I before I say anything, I do agree it was too long.
Mhm.
Maybe a week extension maybe would have done the trick, but there are certain aspects of the extension I think that made sense. Maybe people didn't get the chance to start right away, so then
Mhm.
you're giving folks more of an opportunity right off the bat. This was a shorter league than any of them, so then people are not used to it being so short. Then it felt like like you had to panic. There was sort of a panic in the beginning. It's like, oh my gosh, this is 6 weeks. I'm not gonna be able to do everything in 6 weeks. And then they tacked on 2 extra weeks, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm done. So there's a fine balance. Um, but I think it did give a lot of people the chance to play who normally wouldn't.
Mhm.
Like your situation aside, there are people out there who can maybe put in 1 or 2 hours a day,
Mhm.
maybe 3 to 5 hours a week total.
Mhm.
So then those people are probably cheering, like, man, I loved this league. It was a perfect amount of time. I don't feel burnt out. I accomplished everything I want. So there's a fine line. There's really a fine line between too long and too short. I don't know what that is. I think we've had 3 leagues of data, 3 leagues worth of data, and it's still not a concrete thing. I think it depends on the content. I think it really depends on what type of content the league has to offer. Because something like Trailblazer, where you're only locked to 3 regions, an extended league would be hella boring. Because you're like, I've done everything in my regions,
Mhm.
and I cannot physically go anywhere else. So maybe you make another account and you pick other regions. But it's not how they want you to play leagues.
Mhm.
But if you have the entire map, then a longer league can suffice. But again, it's a balance.
And you know what? I agree. I think longer leagues do help people both in the shorter term and in the longer term. The people like Ditter Bitter who are going for first, second place, it does help to get more points. The people who are like
Mm,
me who are going for Rune Cup, it gives more time and more opportunity and more, more chances to like unburn for a little bit and gain 6,000 points in a day or something like that.
yeah.
But the thing about Twisted and Trailblazer League was the gimmick. Your region lock. Now, what was the gimmick for this other than the fragments? This is a great transition. Sage's Renown, the secondary currency to league points. The extension of the league coupled with the Renown stimmy, as I've been calling it, the reduction in cost and the refund of Renown, as well as the reduction of tasks, made what was special about the league disappear almost immediately. I woke up that morning and unlocked every single quest that I was waiting on.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have access to DS2. I didn't have access to Monkey Madness 2. I didn't have access to any of the troll stuff. I had access to Prif because I figured that was a good buy. I had almost all the skills and I had minimal bosses. I was making do with what I had. And then suddenly, boom, everything. All my quests, all my bosses, just done. And that, in hindsight, is kind of sad. Remember a couple weeks ago when we talked about the changes to the combat achievements? And I said that it would be really cool at first because, like, oh my God, I'm done with combat achievements. Like, I don't have to kill Kriara so many other times. Like, I don't have to, suffer through this many Theater of Bloods and, like, waste all the money on planks. But the long term, it's like, oh, it's just done. It's a little sad to think about it in that sense because it was just done. What was so appealing about the start of leagues, part of that front load that I was talking about, was the rush to unlock everything. And then to be in the middle of rushing to unlock everything, and they're just like, oh, by the way, here's everything you could ever want.
Right.
And whatever you don't have is so much cheaper that, like, it hurts a little bit to think about like that.
Right. You logged in with how many renown? Like 100
Oh,
something?
bro, I think I had like 197 renown when I logged in that day.
Yeah.
And I had
It's
already
crazy.
been actively playing a lot that week. I had, like I
Mhm.
said, almost all my skills unlocked. I had Prif unlocked. I had multiple bosses unlocked. Like, I had spent a lot of renown up to that point to get to where
Mhm.
I was. But instead of like taking it away, they just gave. And I hate to sound like a spoiled child when talking about this, but something about, I don't know, something about that I think was the tipping point for a lot of people down the road of, wow, this league is immensely too long. Like, this is not fun anymore. It's too long.
Yeah, cuz what are you saying? They should have just cut the prices and not refunded? Like would that have made more sense?
I don't know what they should have done. I think so. The way the renown system was originally designed was a bit steep. I will give it to you. It was a bit steep at first. Um, I don't think they adequately took into consideration the amount of time that they were giving to the league, that 6 weeks, and what they were asking the player to do. Chambers of Xeric and Theater of Blood were 100 renown apiece.
It's a lot.
Tasks gave you anywhere from 1 to 5 renown, with the 5 renown being the master tasks. The like equip an infernal cape level tasks. Even 25 mil was not a 5-point task. They
Damn.
were
Yeah.
there's some pretty steep tasks, which, like,
Yeah.
some of them aren't too bad. Equip full Bandos. Okay, by the time you have tier 7 relics, Bandos is a joke. But,
Yeah.
like, before you unlock Bandos, that's a lot. So they misjudged the amount to start with. And then when they refunded everything, they cut the price so much and it was so cool and it was so exciting, but they hyped up this renown. The fragments were supposed to be like trading cards, and the renown was supposed to be like currency. You could switch out the trading cards at any time. and you could, you know, unlock things at your leisure, unlock them in a strategic way. It took all the strategy out of the league. It would be like if people complained that there wasn't enough to do in the desert, so they just gave everybody an extra 2 regions in Trailblazer.
Right.
Like, it just took the
Yeah.
gimmick away from what you were trying to do. I think there was, on their part, a much better way they could have initially started Renown. They could have halved the prices of everything initially and called it good. 50
Hmm.
points for some of literally the best gear in the entire game to unlock Cox and Tob? Sure. 50's not that bad. Once you're in the swing of bossing and PVMing, 50 ain't that bad. You know?
That kind of segues into the point that I was going to make about Renown.
Hmm.
Um, you have a ton of it once you get into the end game because you've unlocked everything,
Yeah.
so you have a bunch of extra, or B, you just maybe didn't care to unlock some stuff, so you have extra. I was talking with, it was actually the Lord Jake, and I was like, I made the point. I'm like, you should have been able to buy things with Renown. For instance, you should have been able to buy Barrow's gloves. You should have been able to buy every single quest. You should have been able to buy diary items. Like, you talked about it being currency, but there should have been way more things you can spend Renown on to give it more use past unlocking everything.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, if you add up every single task that gives Renown, and then you add up every single thing you can unlock, it's way imbalanced. Like, you're gonna, and it's apparent because people did, you're going to earn way more Renown than you could ever use in this league. So I
Hmm.
just think that if they are going to do a Renown system in the future, consider making things buyable. Consider making it to where you don't have to go and get a gout tuber for your medium diary. Or heck, you don't even have to do the diary. You can use Renown to
Just
buy the
buy the
diary.
diary. Yeah, that's such a huge point. Renown was good, but it didn't go far enough. I think the original calculation, if you did every single task, you would have something like 1,000 Renown left over, 800 Renown left over. If you did every task,
Wow.
that's a lot of leftover Renown.
Yeah.
I have 75% of the tasks done, and I have 755 Renown just chilling there. I haven't done a whole lot of master tasks. What am I
Wow.
going to do with that? Nothing. There's nothing I can do with that.
And you've unlocked everything, right?
Oh
Like
yeah, months ago.
yeah.
Months ago. It was
Weeks
just
ago, but
no, because it was late January and we're in mid-March.
oh damn.
Yeah, no, it was months ago. It's been a long league, you know? Like I said, really can't wait for league to be over. And it didn't. I think another good point the boys brought up was like, why couldn't you buy experience with it?
I think that's another big one.
Why
Yeah.
couldn't you buy, like, nobody wants, I don't give a shit if there's fragments for it. Nobody wants to train rune crafting, agility, and mining. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody wants to train those skills. Let us spend 100 renown to one tick get 99 rune crafting.
Mhm.
Give us the points for getting 99 rune crafting. Give us the points for spending 50 additional renown to get 25 mil once we have 99.
Mhm.
Let us spend renown to get the points. Let us, I've said it once. I will say it one last time about the league on the podcast. The fact that you could buy some of the most difficult quests in the game, but fucking rat catchers was one that they thought, oh, they're going to want to do that one. There have been multiple JMods on live streams who have said, hey, you know what I would remove from the game? Rat catchers. Because the people who work at the company think it's bad. Why did they not let us autocomplete RFD? Why did they not let us complete every quest in the game so that we don't, like, let us do the diaries? The way they did it in Trailblazer was so nice, where if a step from a diary or a quest required you to go to more than one region, it was just auto-completed,
Mhm.
which wasn't the same as giving someone everything in an unlock. you still had to get a full Barrows set for the Mauritania Elite Diary. You still had to find a gout tuber for the Karamja Medium Diary. I remember that
Yeah.
day. We did a lot of gout tuber digging that day. You still had to get 77 Runecrafting for the Lumbridge Diary. But you didn't have to do Bones to Peaches. You didn't have to go all over the place doing a bunch of quests. You know,
Mhm.
you weren't locked in to anything like that, because there were a couple tasks in Trailblazer that were like, really, dude? There was one master task that was equip all 3 Cerberus boots, but that required you to unlock the desert to get the Infinity boots. That was one
Oh,
of like a few examples I can think of that forced you to go to multiple regions.
yeah. And very
But
specifically, like
yeah.
Taverley is in Asgarnia,
Mm-hmm.
was it, or Kindred?
Asgarnia,
Asgarnia.
yeah.
So you had to get Asgarnia, and then what? Where were you gonna get Dragon Boots? Is that Wilderness?
No, you can get Dragon Boots is Asgarnia too, because you get them from
Oh, it's
spiritual
okay.
mages.
Spiritual mages. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, so Asgarnia and then the desert, just for one task, and then you're kind of like
But the
locked into
thing is,
picking certain other,
but
relics. But
but the thing is, why does that stand out to me? Because it was an outlier.
mm-hmm.
You know, now they like, I get it. People like quests. I like quests. That's cool. I don't love doing the same quests over and over again on a limited time game mode. I
Yeah,
I don't know. This whole episode has been me whining about the league, but Renown is a big sticking point. It did not go far enough.
yeah.
It was cool until they nerfed it, which was in the it's like a short hit of dopamine of like, oh yeah, baby, we can do everything. And
Yeah.
then suddenly I can do nothing with this. I don't know.
Did they nerf the amount you get from each task, or did that stay
Nope.
the same? Okay,
That
so then
stayed the
maybe,
same.
maybe in the beginning, before it was nerfed, it was balanced. Maybe there was a point to having
Well, it
all of this
was.
renown once you're done. Like you
Well, that's
maybe
the
you
thing.
didn't end up with a ton.
The
So
goal was to stretch the league out so that people would still be actively involved in wanting to do things at this point.
yeah.
Imagine the hype if a week ago I finally unlocked Chambers as Eric, or I finally unlocked Theater of Blood, and I've been training my relics and gathering my gear from all over the various different bosses, and I've got my Bandos and I've got my Trident because I've unlocked God Wars Dungeon and Zulrah and Corrupted Gauntlet, and we're getting all this stuff, and now finally it's Tob time, baby. I've been prepping for this for weeks. The boys have it unlocked, I have it unlocked, and we got 9 days to get as many purples as possible. That's fun. Unlocking it when you're base 50 combat stats? I don't know.
I feel like we do need to try and move on because
Yeah, I think. Do you have any final thoughts on the league? I have, or any negative thoughts, because I do want to cap it off on a little bit more of a positive note as opposed to me just bitching about it.
no, I think we can move on to the positive ending here.
Delightful. The league was very fun. Some of the fragments at the higher end were like the shining stars of the end game. Zamorakian Sight and Bandosian Might were ridiculous. I'm wearing like Zammy pieces right now to do clue scrolls because I'm just tridenting everything. It's ridiculous. Double hit splats with like 300% accuracy. Oh, so good. The superior tracking fragment. 1 in 35 for superior monsters. Are you fucking kidding me? You know how cool that is?
Yeah.
Every time you do 150 Necryals, you get 8 Necryarchs. You get 10 Greater Abyssal Demons. That's ridiculous. That's so cool. You know? Bandosian Might increasing the max hit by like 20 points. I think an Abyssal Whip got a 16-point max hit because it was a 4-tick weapon. You know?
Wow.
The Knife's Edge set effect. Need I say more? Slapping your dick on the table going into P3 Verzik because you want 40 health and you locator orb yourself down because you're like, try me, bitch. And you survive? Oh my God. Because you're smacking 120s on that bitch? That's ridiculous. Twin strikes, chain magic, double tap. Were they perfect? No. Was it awesome? to hit a 6-hit splat on a scythe? Oh yeah. Was it awesome to hit 285s on Ulm with a twisted bow? Oh yeah. Y'all saw the Darok videos on YouTube. How stupid that was. That you could do like 400 something damage in one hit.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
what was the Vorkath speed
It
run?
was 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Start. That boss has 750 hit points. And in 5 seconds, they killed Vorkath. That was disgusting. Some of the fragments and some of the set effects were really, really cool. They brought back Last Recall, which I do have my gripes about, only because of, again, the fragment system changing everything out. Why would you make something that was so perfect change so much? But they brought it back, and there was like a fear that they wouldn't because it was so broken. When I saw that pop up that you got the Last Recall relic, I said, "Oh baby, the king has returned. We are full sending it. This is
Yeah.
awesome." And I got to do one of my favorite things for leagues, which is kill a God Wars dungeon boss, teleport to my house, Last Recall back. 1 kill trips over and over again. I ain't using food, I ain't using prayer. I'm going in sometimes with low hit points because of Knife's Edge, beating the fuck out of this boss and getting out of there. Oh, some of it's so satisfying. Stackable clues. I'm a little on the fence about stackable clues because I have something like 500 clue scroll boxes in my bank that I'm just not going to do. And part
It's
of
a
it,
lot.
it made me realize that, like, hey, I don't want this in the main game because clue scroll boxes at that point become another thing that, like, I'm going to stack up and just not going to want to do.
No, they would just cap it. Like, it would have to be capped at like 10 or 25. Like, it's not going to get to 500.
I don't think it's impossible for it to come to the main game, but like as it is in this current form, if 275 hard clue scroll boxes and 87 elite clue scroll boxes, no, I don't want to do it. I'm not motivated. I've done 1.5 elite clues in the last 2 hours. I'm not motivated to do that. But oh my goodness, the hype of getting all these clue scrolls, having them stackable. You know, I thought they could have carried over some of the improvements for clues. But again, this is the good stuff. You know, hopefully they do, because they did in the Trailblazer League. They did it where it saved the number of steps. So if you didn't have something and you dropped the clue, it like you picked up the next clue at like 5 or 6 steps. That would have
That's
been
cool.
so nice with stackable
Yeah.
clue boxes.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been
Yeah,
fantastic.
I mentioned Blades earlier. He was trying to do a master clue,
Mhm.
and he was just running into issue after issue. It took him like an hour and a half to complete one master clue and he had like 6 or 7 stacked up in his bank. And arguably, he was being a bit lazy with things. Like one of the tasks or one of the steps was go like get a Pharaoh scepter. And I'm like, if this wasn't 1 week before the league ended and you were doing this clue step, you probably could just go get a Pharaoh scepter real quick.
Probably would just buy one. That's the thing. Pyramid plunder is not enjoyable content when you're a god.
Yeah, but it's very quick because of the drop rates. Like it's, I don't know, 1 in 1,000 or something for the first chest. So that instantly makes it a 1 in 300 something for the first chest. And you loot all 9 or no all 8. Like it's probably really quick.
I know the drop rate was boosted, but I think for me that goes back to like that's content I don't want to do in the last week.
Right.
But I see what
But
you're saying.
If you enjoy doing clues, then
Mhm.
yes, it could be. But again, it's the thing where he's like he dropped it and then he picked a second, master clue up and it's back at 0. So you're absolutely right. I think in a limited time game mode where the drops don't matter, this is not affecting the economy, just give everybody the same graces of saying, hey, if you drop it, you're back at 6 steps on that master clue that you couldn't do.
Just to fact check here, because we've been trying to do that more in the podcast. Pyramid plunder from floor 5 or up with the tier 6 relic is still 1 in 216.
It's not bad though. That's really not that bad.
But it's not that fun. That's the problem. It's not that fun. I get where you're coming from though. I'm not
Yeah.
Stackable clues were nice. Of course, we love the drop rates. We love the XP drops. The ability to do skills and get the fatty rewards from the diaries. Oh, 16 times for doing elite diaries. Let's go, baby. We love to see it. You get 1 mil for completing an elite diary. 1 million XP.
Boom.
I think it's ridiculous.
So much. Yeah.
It's so cool. It allowed you to do a lot of content this league, being in Iron Man mode where you can't lose things in most cases. Going out into the wilderness became a lot more fun and a lot more viable. Killing Venenatus in max range, hell yeah. Killing Revenants with a scythe, hell yeah. Like I don't know. I think this league opened up a lot of opportunities for fun, but only briefly, if that makes sense. I think this league did have some pretty severe flaws. I think this league had almost impossible shoes to fill. I think ask anyone, even the J mods, it was going to be impossible to follow up Trailblazer League.
Yeah.
Overall, I'd have to say I enjoyed Shattered Relics League. I won't even add a caveat of like not as much as I could have or not as much as I did another league. I enjoyed Shattered Relics. I have just gone on about what I would change and the flaws of Shattered Relics. But overall, I had a good time. I'm excited for Leagues 4. I'm not going to think about Leagues 4 because, dear God, I need a break. But I'm excited for Leagues 4, and I'll be more than happy to update you guys on where I land in the rankings when it's all said and done. I think I'll get a Rune Cup. I think there's still the final push, so we're not sure. But I'm thinking Rune Cup is going to be where I land, and that is, as you guys know, exactly what I wanted. So I'm happy to close this chapter of RuneScape and move on to the next big piece of content. How you feeling, Michael?
Feeling great.
Like I said in the top. Are you finally ready to take us to a break? You've been talking this whole time.
Like I said in the top, didn't play, don't regret it. Now we can move on.
It took you long enough to get all that shit off your chest. Jesus, Michael.
Thank you for your review, Oxie. I do appreciate your thoughts on all of that, because like I kind of wish I did play. It's a joke, didn't play, don't regret it. I kind of do wish that I did put a little bit more effort into it, but I didn't even put that much effort into my main account over the last 6 to 8 weeks. So it's just a factor of life at this point. It's not that I didn't care about the league. I did very much get overwhelmed. And you said it at the top, it's like task list, what do I do? And that was the main gist, is like I just felt way too overwhelmed and lost. And hey, you know what? Maybe we'll try it next time. Maybe I'll do some research. Maybe I'll strategize. There's a lot of things you can do. I mean, there's plenty of people making spreadsheets and Google Docs and all the sort, and just try it next time. Ralph in our recording booth chat said +1. Thanks, Ralph. Me too. Yeah. Next league, we'll get it, Ralph. We'll get it.
You'll be maxed by the next league. So at that point,
I'm gonna be maxed by the next league,
baby.
Yes, that's the plan. Now, if the next league is this year, may not be maxed, but if it's next year, for sure.
Update on the group Iron Man. There's no chance I'm gonna get enough for a whip recolor. If I log in tomorrow and just play the groupie tomorrow, I might get a whip recolor, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's my plan. Is like, while I'm editing this, try and do some AFK stuff for more points. But again, it may not happen. I'm at like 1,000 points in the grand scheme of it. You need at least 1,500. So we'll see. But that is going to send us off to the break. I hope you enjoyed this incredibly long first segment. If you're still here, please stick around after this lovely commercial break, and we'll have a lot more content for you guys.
Good evening, adventurer. You come here seeking knowledge and power, no? Then perhaps you're brave enough to enter my evil lair. For those of you...
David, honey, who you talking to down there?
What? No, Mom, I'm trying to shoot a movie.
Oh, okay, honey, have fun.
Now where were we? For those of you who dare enter this hell, you may find the power you seek. But of course, such power comes at a price. You must...
David, honey, what do you want for dinner? I got leftover lasagna or dinosaur chicken nuggets.
Dinosaur chicken nuggets, please. Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
Okay, evil. I am evil. Okay, we can do this. To obtain that which you desire, you must take the life of another. But you adventurers are all the same, and your bloodlust is rarely sated after just one. However, there is not reward without risk. You must...
David, honey!
Oh, I swear to Zamarok. What, Mom?
Would you like ranch or honey mustard with your nuggets?
Do we have any hot sauce?
Yeah, I got hot sauce. You want hot sauce?
Yes, please. Thank you, Mom.
Of course, dear.
Okay, let's just get this over with. However, there is no reward without risk. For you must endanger the life of your closest companion in order to fulfill your desires for knowledge and power. If this is a chance you're willing to take, then I invite all of you to venture to my corner of hell, if you dare.
David, honey, if you're gonna have friends over, I'm gonna need to make more chicken nuggets.
Mom!
Hello and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. So this is the part of the episode where we shout out our lovely patrons, starting with the Wise Old Man tier. Give a big shout out to Scape Caution, Elagio, Bolimer, Basket, Benjamin R, Captain Clunk, Hadadbod, C. Gladney, Morty, Creamed Ham, Durf Nasty, Drum TXT, Flyin' Castiel, Forest Tree, Fortimus, Ice Swallow, I don't like that, MB Jones, Jake W, Jonah Zune, Jordy, King Flip, Macrotinka Jones, Monkey Waffle, 999, 999, Pooper Cheeks, Russ of Fury, Salted Snake, Shadowblade, Toast No Toast, and Troll. Thank you so much, everybody who does support us in the Wise Old Man tier. This list is continuing to grow, and shoutouts are just insane. But that is not the end of our shoutouts. We want to give a big thank you so much to our KBD tier folks, Oxie's dad, and my dad, who is also the same guy.
I was going to say, could be this close to not doing it this week, but no, it's just part of the tradition now.
Cookies and MILF, Dr. Draven, Evan B, Kroll, the Lord Jake himself, P-Joint, our third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph, Spartan Fire, and Oxie's Left Nut, aka Ryan, aka Akuna. Thank you so much to everybody who does support us on Patreon. Even if you didn't get a shout out the Gnome Child and Party Pete. Big ups to you guys. And if you would like to support us on Patreon, you can head over to patreon.com/Xpwaste. Very easy to join. We have many tiers. And if you do end up joining, remember to connect your Discord account to take advantage of all of the benefits we have available. And one of those benefits was getting early access to the merch. So if you're in the Patreon, you've already seen the merch probably for about 5 days. But you all who are not in the Patreon are just now seeing it. xpwaste.shop. If you'd like to check it out, we have tons of different styles, tons of different logo options. I'm really excited about it. Like, we've put a lot of work and effort in the last couple weeks into what is now our merch shop, and we have decided to donate a portion of all of our profits to charity, which I just think is awesome. I'm not sure exactly, like we haven't talked about the amount, what percentage, but a portion of all the profits will go to charity. We haven't talked about exactly what charity, but we're thinking something either mental health related or like gaming addiction related. So if you would like to support us and buy our merch, like we said at the top, xpwaste.shop. And just because you made it this far in the episode, there is a flash sale going on our merch store for the next 24 hours. If you use code XPWaste, all one word, you're going to get 10% off. That's a thank you to you for making it through the long-winded, whatever that was with Oxie and I in the beginning, and getting it to the fun question section. Use code XPWaste at the checkout and get 10% off. Flash sale until tomorrow. I say tomorrow. It's Friday. I'm looking up the date exactly. Friday the 18th of March. So if you're listening to this like 6 months in the future, the code's not going to work, or maybe it does. I don't know. It doesn't hurt to try.
It doesn't. The code does not work. Don't keep trying. The code's not going to work.
So we do have some community question answers from last week's question. Simply put, what tasks would you suggest for the new Group Iron Man task list? So we had a couple responses. Jacob M says, obtain a god D-hide. I know it's like a common joke. Iron Man will never have a matching set, so maybe Group Iron Man will. It's like a whole set. Oh, that was Razan in the Clin. Hello, welcome, thank you. Let's see. Toast. Shout out to you, Toast. They said your sneaking suspicion was correct. The sneaking suspicion was that Untoasted, the name that they put on Spotify, is in fact Toast in the Clan. I would suggest a group taking down Volcano and a group occupying all the places needed to run Blast Furnace. Interesting. That would limit the smaller teams, but might be fun. Maybe if you do you all have to do the Blast Furnace together. And then last but not least, Mac. They say group only 99 parties and maxing parties. Anyone outside the group in this section blocks the task completion, and then you're hopped. Don't understand what that means.
Bro, you gotta have a secret 99 party. You gotta DM the boys all right, low key. I'm having 99 fire making upstairs in the Shazian wardrobe sales place. I'm gonna light a fire up there. I'm gonna lamp it up there. You guys have to meet me there. It's gonna happen at 5:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, Australian time. Figure out the conversion. We can't have anybody else being there. We have to get this task done. And you all better be there, or I'm gonna kick everybody's ass. 99 fire making upstairs in the Shazian wardrobe shop. Which now, unfortunately, is where I, Oxie, have to get 99 fire making.
You're never going to get 99 fire making. Don't lie to yourself. Anyway, that was our lovely responses. I think there was a longer one on YouTube. I'm going to look that one up real quick.
He's not even wrong.
Oh, okay. This is actually from Crunk.
Crunk.
This is funny, okay? Here's a group Iron Man task idea. Give them bank space when everyone from the group gets married in their kingdom. Because no boys or boys pretending to be girls should be without their honeys. So if you play a girl character in game, you got to have your honey. Don't know what that means because whose kingdom? We're
Miscellanea?
in separate kingdoms?
Oh,
in your kingdom of miscellany.
You get married. You have a wife.
I see.
Or a husband in the quest. You get married. They don't let you choose, which, yeah, I don't know. But what was the point of that?
That's a task list. That's a task.
No.
Once everybody gets married.
What was the point of that quest subplot? That you
I
have
don't
to get
know.
married.
I think it was to bridge the two kingdoms in marriage so that they're not fighting anymore.
I understand. I understand what the point was in the quest. But why now is your character, who, if you're like me, has literally never been back to Miscellanea in 2 years, committed with a wife on the island? You know, she's just sitting there. That poor woman's like, I'm waiting for my husband to return from war. I'm going to roll in with like a blood-stained crystal armor set and infernal cape. And she's going to be like, yo, what the fuck? You were in
Where have
blue
you
dragon
been?
hide last time I saw you. I'm going to be like, things changed. I'm not even going to ask for a divorce. I'm just going to have that grizzled voice the whole time, you know? But like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
All right. So thank you so much to everyone who answered the question. If you would like to answer this week's question, it will be, what would you have changed about this league? Quite simply put. So check out the community section in Spotify. And if you want to leave a comment on the YouTube, we do appreciate that. And we read all of them. So, Oxie, what do you have for us in the achievement section?
Man says, simply put, like I did not just spend 6 hours talking about what I would change. We have a couple of things. We have our like level-based achievements. We have our questing diary achievements, and we have our PVM achievements. As always, it has been, I think this is the last of the quote-unquote slow weeks. I think now that Leagues is officially over, and with bingo on the horizon, we're just starting to see the first wave of we're getting ready, baby. We're prepping for bingo.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see that. So we have a couple 99s this week. We have Posh Padre with his first ever 99. His first 99 farming. He got it in Prif, Snapegrass. That's hype. I don't have 99 farming. Also, GZ in your first 99.
GZ.
Good first 99 to get.
It really is. Like it's a not budget, but it's an alternative to the crafting kit.
It's a time commitment is the thing. Like it's a big time commitment to do farming because some of that shit takes days. But you know, GZN 99 farming. We also have the Angel of Death, Ryan, with 99 range. You guys will never believe where he got 99 range. Nex. He got it at Nex. Because the man has like 4,700 KC. That's not even an over exaggeration. You got a Nihil horn the other day. It was pretty hype, but that's not our combat achievement of the week.
TB, I split.
You're like the 7th person to say
Split.
that. You also may have been the first person to say that.
I think Scape actually. We were in VC when he got it, but I think Scape was the first one to go. I split.
I TB'd.
Split. I TB'd.
We have a couple quest caves, which you know I'm a sucker for these quest caves. I'm always going to shout them out. Kroll, longtime friend of the podcast, who's kind of come back into the woodwork. Welcome back. He got his quest cape. And Pork Jerry also got his quest cape. I like it because I could tell it's their first quest cape and they're not getting their quest cape back because like they're untrimmed. You know, you look at them, they're like wearing untradeable gear in like both of the pictures. Like I think Kroll's in graceful and Jerry's in like untradeable combat gear. So hype. Like I just, you can tell it's their first. Combat wise, it's a little different this week. I lied. We just got another 99 in like 2 hours ago that I completely missed. Troll got 99 strength, his first ever 99 in old school RuneScape.
Hell yeah.
So we get a third bonus 99. Combats don't really have too much. It's hard for me to consider awesome drops as combat achievements, if that makes sense. It's hard for me to consider like good RNG or something like that as like an achievement of the week. Well, let me know your guys' thoughts on that, but I always try to avoid, you know, people like, and this is kind of going against my philosophy, people like Mima who need to chill the fuck out at Armadillo because he got like 4 armor drops and like 40 kills or something like that. Man made like 90 mil in a day on an aviancy task. I don't really like consider that an achievement. It's awesome RNG and I'm super jealous, but when I think combat achievement, I think you achieved something. Okay, whatever. In any case, this week is a little bit of a different one. Like we said, the bingo prep has begun. Bucket God, recently promoted to Myth Cape, longtime friend of the podcast, has basically everything except his melee and mage void helm. And I think elite void, and that's it. This week, he capped off all 4 Zenites, fighter torso, fire cape, mage cape, dragon defender, the trifecta, imbued rings, occult, imbued salve, assembler, and barrows gloves. That's a man who's ready for bingo. We call it a combat achievement because it's going to carry you like a broken record. It's going to carry you through every piece of content in the game. And it cost him bare minimum money for that. So people are kicking it. It's going to be very exciting to see people for bingo. I can't wait for these next couple weeks. People start getting their first boss KCs. People start getting diaries done, combat diaries. Ooh, I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. But that is your achievement of the week from Xpwaste. As always, if you guys would like to showcase your achievements, your drops, good or bad, we do have a troll drops channel that is hysterical. Shout out to Scape for making 2 ballistas and getting a shield left half on a black demon task and just giving us life that day. We do have channels for a lot of stuff for you to show off. So join the Discord, hang out, and flex.
Yeah.
So that is achievement of the week for you. It's time for the reason you've all stuck around for the fun question. This one's probably going to be a little bit sappier than normal, possibly. Or it's going to be super memey. There's literally no way of knowing. So we'll have to hit you. Michael, you got our fun question?
Yeah, this one comes from the lovely clan chat. Oftentimes, Oxie and I, we don't want to use up all of the fun questions, the hundreds of fun questions we have stored up.
Yeah,
backlog.
That's what we call it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we go to the CC and we ask, "Hey boys, what do you got for us this week?" Because we want to include the community. And so this one comes from a friend of the clan. He's actually a guest in the CC, but like pretty active in the Discord. Immortal. He said, "What is one thing you would like to see the other person accomplish this year in RuneScape? Caveat, that's not on their radar." So, an example of that, I would say, Oxie, I would love for you to get your Inferno Cape. No. That's already on his radar. He's already going to do that. So,
and just like with Michael, I'd love for him to get his Max Cape. That's not what I'm going to say here.
Yeah. Did you have anything yet, or do you want me to go first?
You know what? You go first. I have stuff, but I think you can go first.
Okay. So, I would love for you, Oxie, to achieve base 90s this year. I think you're very, very, very close, apart from Hunter. I think you actually hate Hunter. But, I mean, you're really close in runecrafting. You're semi-close in agility. You could bust it out with mining. It's not that bad. So once you get all 3 of those, I think everything else is just kind of work itself up there naturally when you're going to, finish your diary cape. I would say that I would love for you to get your diary cape this year because it's not technically on your radar. But I think you could do it. I really think you could get your diary cape this year. I think I could
pull the diary cape before I pull 90 base 90s.
Yeah, you're really close in a lot of skills needed for the diary cape. I mean, I'm looking at your account right now. It's maybe like a couple levels in a couple things. So you definitely could do it. Now, the tasks are going to be a bit harder, but you've got it in levels. But base 90s, and then let's see. I think a fun one for you would also to be getting all of the clue scroll milestones. I don't think you've ever like said out loud like, "Hey, I want to go get them," but you're kind of close in some of them.
You mean for like the I know what you're talking about, like the clueless scroll things, yeah?
Yeah. So like 500 easy, 400 medium. You're not kind of close. I mean, you are. You only need like 10 more hard, or 110 more hard clues. But I'm just looking at your account. I looked you up to have to see, all of the stuff. But there's a lot of things that you have said are your goals, like ranked in every boss and getting your Infernal Cape. But some of the fun things would be like maybe max combat. I think you could do that. That doesn't seem that hard this year. Prayer might be a little hard if you're not making the dough. But yeah. Any of that tracking with you?
I'm here for a lot of it. The clue scroll one's a lot of fun. Prayer will come with time. I'm not super fussed about prayer. Like if and when it comes, that's going to be very exciting. But I think
one more. I think you could make it a goal this year to be a TOB teacher, like to be able to just take a bunch of learners.
Yeah, I know that's my one stipulation. is that I'll take people anywhere but Theater of Blood.
Yeah.
It's my
so
one
then,
thing I'm not going to teach people.
So then you're just so confident with Tob now that you are able to take people.
Yeah, become the very thing I swore to destroy. Theater of
Yes.
Blood. Not teachers, Theater of Blood.
Yeah. Well, cool. That's all I had. I might think of some more and jump in, but
Yeah.
those are the big ones.
I've got some interesting ones from you. Things that just like completely are not ever gonna be on your radar for the end of this year. I want you to learn the reworked wilderness bosses. I want you to learn all the wilderness bosses as like what I would like to see you accomplish. I think it would be very fun to watch you learn Scorpio. I think it would be fun. I don't know what the reworks are gonna look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I say reworked bosses because you know what the bosses are like now. And unless you're me, they're not that fun. So, I'm not the biggest fan of them in their current state, even if I do have over 1,000 KC at one of them. I'd like to see you get really good at the reworked wilderness bosses. My initial thought was I want to see you become a Tob fiend and just get stupid good at Theater of Blood. But then I thought to myself, you know what I've never heard Michael talk about in more than I'm just going to do it, but I'm not going to be super excited about it? Raids 3.
Oh.
I would like to see you master Raids 3 in the first 5 months it comes out. Master what is available meta-wise in Raids 3 when it comes out, because I imagine you want to do Raids 3, but I also imagine that you care far more about maxing than doing the new raid, and I don't think you're going to have a max cape by July. I think once fishing is done, you're on easy street. Well, no, you still have agility, so maybe not. Once you get fishing and agility done, easy street for maxing.
Yeah.
And I think once those are done, it'll be just a quick grind from there. But I'd like to see you get like I said, just stupid good at Tombs of a Masket. Figure out the best combos, figure out the best team sizes, the best buffs and debuffs, and be the guy for TOA. Because one thing about, in the clan, the people who are both good at PVM and have been here for a while on high ranks in the clan, everyone has a thing, in PVM.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is the wilderness bosses. TMD's thing is he's the Chambers of Zarek teacher.
Mm-hmm.
We literally call him the Tuzcal. Jesse is the Inferno teacher. Jamie's the Tob fiend. Scape is Zulra for sure. We tease Immortal about Hydra all the time. You don't really got a PVM thing. You'll go with people to Corp, but you don't really have a PVM thing. And I would love to see particularly Raids 3 because it's going to be new and it's going to be challenging.
Yeah.
It would be so like, I don't want to say out of the box in like a bad way, but it would be so just like off the beaten path for what you are planning for the year that it would be super cool to be like, oh yeah, you want to go to TOA? Michael will teach you. Unironically. Don't make it like, oh, you want to go to Theater of Blood? Yeah, Michael will teach you. Because like that's funny. That's funny for me.
Yeah.
But no, I think
it would be like the equivalent of like Ryan right now. He's got like 4,000 plus KC at next. He's the next guy.
He's the next guy. Yeah, he's the next guy in our Discord.
And just sent it, in the last couple weeks that it's been out. And that could be me. I could just like no life raids consistently.
Like don't put the maxing grind on hold, because I feel like that wouldn't be nearly as much fun for you to put the maxing grind on hold. But just to like hard commit for like the first month or two, I don't know. I think that'd be really cool to watch. And it could be any PVM. And of course, you pick skilling for me and I pick PVM for you because it's the other side of like the yin and yang that you and I create with our love and hatred of various activities throughout the game.
Yeah.
But I guess more broadly, I want you to become the guy for something that's hard. The KBD guy, who gives a shit? That's not that challenging, you
Mhm.
know. Maybe you could be like the Tob hard mode guy. That would be iconic if you became the hard mode Theater of Blood guy by the end of the year.
That would
Because
be
I
cool.
don't think that many people on our Discord have even attempted hard mode Tob,
That would be cool.
as opposed to like competent enough to consistently teach and get a team of learners through.
Yeah.
You know,
I think if
That'd
there
be
was
hype.
I think if there was a PVM thing that I could be the guy, it'd be like Corrupted Gauntlet. Because I mean, right now I'm really enjoying Gauntlet, and it's just like it's obtainable. It's challenging and obtainable for me. So then that's a good mixture. But yeah, there's
you gotta get that sub 6.5 minute, baby.
mm-hmm.
You gotta
In
get
Corrupted
you
or
gotta get all
regular?
in Corrupted. You
Oh,
gotta
okay.
get all them GM tasks for Corrupted.
Oof. That's the goal. Like that's
You're
the
like-
bar I have to hit.
You're like, oh, maybe I'm not gonna be the Corrupted Colic guy. But like that's my point. Become the guy for
Become the
PVM
guy.
for something.
Yeah, that's
know?
exciting. Kraken, definitely not. No, I'm just kidding.
The guy for Kraken. Bro, his whole job is stand there, click the boss. Michael's the guy for Kraken.
That's me.
Also, TMD would be straight up offended if you just became the Kraken guy over him. Although I don't think he wants to do much more Kraken. He just wants that pet so bad. Rest in peace.
I don't think I'll ever get more than 1,000. Like my log is done. There's literally no reason for me to go back to Kraken unless it's for bingo. But I don't even think I'll do it. Like I just like the clean 1K. It's
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah, that's the beauty of bingo is that if you don't want to do something or you can't do something, you really can just be like, no, I don't want, like that's not going to be what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's on the low end or the high end, you could be like, yeah, I'm not doing Kraken.
Like if and we're not saying there's a Kraken tile. Like there's literally, I mean, I could be playing in another bingo, and this would be the hypothetical, right? So this isn't TNL. There's a Kraken tile, but say I'm the only like one of two people on my team with 87 Slayer. Sure, maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll do it, but it would have to be like the other person really can't get the drop, and I just need to send it. You know what I mean? It would take a lot
like
for me.
The last like 48 hours of the event, you just need to do it type thing, you
Mhm.
know?
But I really like the just clean 1K. And at that, I would just need to go to like another milestone. So maybe 1,500. So I don't have to get a couple
That's what happened to
tasks.
me with Fenanatus. I was like 1K, baby. And then I got bored after 2 days and was like, I kind of want to go back. And now I'm like, all right, 1,500 by the end of the year. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Cool, man. Did you have any other for me?
I don't know. I don't know.
Sweet.
Again, broadening the confidence with player versus monster activities is what I would like to see a lot. But particularly you becoming the guy
Yeah.
for PVM.
It could happen. I'm not saying I'm going to be the guy, but like PVM is definitely, and this kind of breaks the whole, it's not been on my radar. I haven't really talked about it a lot, but I do have that itch to get back
Mhm.
into PVM as a supplement for all of this grinding that I've been doing over the
Mhm.
past 8 months of trying to max, almost a year now. Like I can remember I got my
So long,
diary
bro.
cape. I got my diary cape in April of 2021. So just a little under a year. And after I got my diary cape, I was like, I'm going to max. And I think I was like 2140 or like low 2100 total when I got my diary cape. So then it's been quite the grind. I'm 2239 now. Oh, another fun one I think for you that is kind of off the wall, but like fill out a couple of those obscure collection log
I knew
completions.
that's what you were gonna say.
Yeah.
Please don't say trouble brewing, bro. I can't.
No, you don't have to do
I
trouble brewing.
can't.
That's
I'm
like
not strong
nobody wants to do trouble brewing. But just like find some that you are interested in. Like maybe it's Chompy Bird. You just want to get 4K kills at Chompies. Because you do like untradeable cosmetics. So
I am a whore for untradeable cosmetics, and that dragon archer thing, it's not quite as much of a flex as the crystal crown. It's more of a ridiculous flex, quite frankly.
yeah.
But it would look good with an infernal cape. So.
The Dragon
saying.
Archer crown? What was that?
I think the dragon archer is red with all the feathers, or maybe it's black.
So the
OSRS
top one is
dragon
yellow.
archer chompy hat. Is it really?
Yeah, I just opened the
Oh, it's
collection log to
yellow?
see. Yeah, it's yellow. It's kind of weird.
Oh, that would look real good with a champion's cape, though.
That's true.
That would look
I don't know if
real
the
good
Champion's
with a
Cape is on your
champion's
radar.
cape. It's not on my radar at all.
Yo, Champion's Cape is like a post-max thing. Tell me somebody who's gone for Champion's Cape before they maxed. I'll say they're crazy. That's on my radar for next year, though. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Bro, maybe I'll get the expert ogre dragon archer that's light blue,
Ooh,
and I can
with
keep
the
up
quest
my
cape?
my trimmed quest cape and my normal young lift. That could be a good look.
Mm.
That could be a real good look. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the fashionscape. Do I have
It's
any of those
off the
unlocked?
wall.
I don't have. Wait, have I just not
Yeah.
claimed them? Oh, I probably just haven't claimed them because there's no way. I have 1,000 kills for the diary.
Mhm.
Anyway,
That was quite the enjoyable, fun question. Thank you, Immortal.
thank you, Immortal. Appreciate that.
Michael, do we think it's time to let these folks go?
I think it is time.
And
It's been well over 2 hours at this point, even with
great
editing.
guns. Great guns. Yeah, because we had that thing that definitely wasn't a technical problem happen, so we had to sort that out.
Oh
but
man. But yes, guys, thank you so much for listening and or watching. If you are on the YouTube, thank you so much for all the love we've been getting on YouTube the past, couple weeks. I know the giveaways definitely helped. People have an incentive to subscribe, but like our subscriber count has continued to rise. And it's just an arbitrary number, but it does help the channel out. We do want to grow that avenue of the podcast.
Mhm.
So if you are if you're listening and you haven't subscribed on YouTube, we would love it if you consider dropping us a sub. It is free. Drop a like on the video, drop a comment if you're on YouTube, and every link you could possibly ever need is in the description. So follow us on socials, check out our Instagram, check out our Twitter, all that fun stuff, and yeah, thank
Join
you
us
guys so-
on Discord so you can
Yes.
come play bingo with us.
It's gonna be a blast. You have until, if you're not listening to this live and maybe it's a little bit late, I think you have until the 26th or around the
Let's
26th
double
of March.
check. 'Cause some asshole wrote like a 4-page announcement for it. You have until Friday, March 25th
Okay,
to sign up.
so you have until Friday,
you
March
have
25th.
So this episode, and then the next episode.
Yeah, 'cause
And
we'll
by
definitely
the
talk about it.
time the episode for next week comes out, it'll be done.
Yeah,
The
sign-ups will be
signups
closed. We'll have drafted. We'll be excited. But yeah, guys, get hyped for bingo. I don't know. Thank you so much again for listening, and we will see you guys next Thursday. Bye.